Kenya is largely an agricultural-based economy with the bulk of earnings coming from tea, coffee, horticultural produce among others, and directly contributing 24% to its GDP. Despite the considerable contribution, food security continues to be a perennial problem.
For the longest time, when they talked about food security, it meant maize, beans, yeah, and you know, the staple crops. But I think it goes beyond the staple crops, yeah, because in horticulture, some farmers, look at some farmers in some areas, they don't grow maize, they don't grow, they just grow horticultural crops. So food security for them means being able to make enough money from their activities so that they can access, because food security is about access. You can access having it physically, or you can have capacity to buy the food.
Adoption of modern farming technology by small-scale farmers will be a milestone towards increasing production yields.
One of the sectors that we know is growing and growing very fast is horticulture. Okay, we know, and they say everywhere that all horticulture has potential. But I would dare say that this potential has not been exploited because of many factors. There's so much research going on. There's a lot of technologies being churned out, but it's not reaching the end user.
In working to address this recurrent concern, research implementation and proper stakeholder involvement is paramount.
We generate technologies which also we adapt them to the farmer circumstances. We work with the farmers so that it can be adapted under their situation in their environment to ensure that they can choose what they prefer and accept what they prefer. And with that, now we also I mentioned outreach, and where we are taking out these technologies using different media, different approaches, using field days, shows, and so forth to take out that knowledge. So we are doing that on the ground and working with the farmers a lot.
Financial ability for small-scale holder farmers to take up new farming technology is a key concern.
In terms of affordability, a lot has been done by government and private sector for the smallholder farmers to be able to afford the greenhouse. Okay, I think when the greenhouses came, they were huge. But you recognize now we have smaller units, which I think are affordable. Apart from that, I think government also has a project where they encourage, especially the youth, to access monies to engage in greenhouse farming. And then in terms of volumes to reach a bigger market, I think what they try to do is to have farmers do this in groups so that they can pool their produce, yeah, and attract the market.
The linking of financial services to our farmers is very, very important. And I know that there are many financial services institutions which are providing microcredit, small credit to the farmers so that they can be able to actually access some of these technologies.
What are some of the challenges the farmers encounter?
The biggest problems for farmers with post-harvest grain management actually starts on the field with the pest management. Post-harvest storage is a large issue. A number of the small-scale farmers are still using very primitive storage measures, as in wooden structures. These harbour pests, which after harvesting, placing your grains into that storage, you actually infesting. Lack of proper controls in terms of fumigation is also a major impact. And then also the post-harvest drying factors, where farmers either over-dry or under-dry their crops. If they under-dry their crops, the higher moisture levels aggravate certain bacteria or fungi, development of aflatoxins.
On the back of that, research firms have embarked on helping farmers to increase production capacities.
There's a number of initiatives for small-scale farmers to access market. I think a lot of, one of the major contributors is the forward funding offered by a number of traders, fertilizer companies that actually will assist farmers with fertilization, input materials, and actually forward purchase their crops at a beneficial price. Other than that, it's to try and get the small-scale farmers to form farmer groups. Obviously more farmers, more power, more leverage.
Vibrancy of Kenya's ICT sector creates an additional platform which farmers can piggyback on to access markets.
There's a lot of innovation in ICT software or programs that can enable farmers to get information. What I don't know has worked is information on production. I don't know if that we can. In China, I understand they do e-extension, where the farmer can actually, I'm seated in the office, I don't have capacity to move to the farmer, but the farmer can send message to me, and I can tell them maybe it is a situation with his crop that is seeing these symptoms and whatever, what can he do? And you can relay the extension message to the farmer by the mobile phone.
With proper follow-through on adoption of new technology, training and empowerment of the farmers, years to come, Kenya can quickly be transformed from a food aid recipient into a large-scale commercial exporter.